Hello students, we are on Phylum Annelida and we have completed earthworm and nereis, and now let us do the third example of a special annelid, which is leech. Leech. Scientific name is Hirudinea and the class that it belongs to is Hirudinaria. You know about the leech, right? They live in water bodies, mainly polluted water bodies, and they will climb onto the bodies of animals or even human beings around. They will suck blood from them. The animal or the human on which this leech is feeding does not even realize when the leech is feeding onto it, okay, because of the special types of ingredients that are secreted by the leech in its saliva at the time of feeding. We will be having a look at that. It's said to be a sanguivorous ectoparasite. Sanguivorous means blood sucking. Ectoparasite. Ecto means outer, outside. Habit. It's a sanguivorous ectoparasite. Sanguivorous means blood sucking. Ecto means outside. It lives in water bodies. It can survive in polluted water bodies as well. Polluted water bodies will have very low concentrations of oxygen into it, but that is where the leech is able to survive in low oxygen concentrations as well because of the presence of high hemoglobin content into its body. Okay, it has high hemoglobin content in its body, which enables it to survive in very low oxygen conditions. Habitat. Polluted water bodies can survive in very low oxygen concentrations due to high amounts of hemoglobin in its body. Its body is said to be dorsoventrally flattened, said to be slimy with a lot of mucus. It's slimy for cutaneous respiration, just like the earthworm. It is known to have these 33 fixed segments. This number is fixed, unlike the earthworm, which may have 100 to 120 segments. The number of segments is variable in earthworm, nereis, but in the leech, the number of segments is fixed, which is 33. This is important. So this is the leech and the number of segments need to be 33. There are two suckers on both the ends, anterior and the posterior ends. The one on the anterior side is called as the anterior sucker. This is the ventral view, by the way. And the one on the posterior side is called as the posterior sucker. Below the anterior sucker there will be the mouth. Anterior sucker is meant for mainly feeding and the posterior sucker is meant for adhesion plus locomotion. Leeches are hermaphrodites and they will have both the male and the female reproductive systems and their openings. Onto the ventral side, the one shown on top is the male genital pore and the one below is the female genital pore. Let us mention that they are hermaphrodites. However, just like the earthworms, they prefer cross-fertilization. Clitellum. Where is the clitellum? Clitellum is not generally present. It will arise at the time of reproduction only. Okay, it's said to be a temporary clitellum. Temporary clitellum arises only during a reproductive season. This part is the anus. Next, let's talk about its saliva. Like I told you, its saliva has special ingredients which enables it to quietly feed onto the animal without making it aware or realize that it is being fed on. Saliva has a chemical called as hirudin, very important, and this hirudin is said to be anticoagulant. What is meant by an anticoagulant? An anticoagulant does not allow blood to clot. You know that if you have a cut and if the blood oozes out, shortly after it will start clotting and the blood will stop flowing, isn't it? Within a matter of a few seconds. But the leech can mount and will keep on sucking out the blood and will release this chemical through its saliva, which will prevent the blood from clotting so that the blood remains thin and fluid so that it can have a good meal. Prevents blood clotting. Prevents blood clotting, and it is economically also very important, hirudin. It also has anesthetic chemicals in its saliva. Anesthesia. You know what is anesthesia, right? Anesthesia is given at the time of surgeries and all to numb pain, to numb the nervous system in that particular region. These anesthetic chemicals that are released will numb that particular tissue and it will not give any pain sensation to the animal. Numbs the tissue to prevent pain sensation. To prevent pain. Why the animal should not feel pain? If the animal feels pain, it's going to throw that leech away, isn't it? Which the leech does not want. It wants to quietly feed. That is the reason. Once the leech has its blood meal, it's going to store this sucked blood in its gut which can become quite enlarged. After this meal, the leech will detach itself from the animal and it can live up to 15 to 20 days without eating anything else. Stores blood in gut. One feeding lasts 15 to 20 days. Once completely fed, leech detaches. Leech has medicinal uses as well. How is it used in medicine? For surgical drainage of fluids. Like for example, if there is a tumor, okay, which is large sized, the leech can be applied to it for removal of the fluids first, so that it can become smaller in size and becomes easier to surgically remove the tumor thereafter. This type of medical application to remove fluids is known as phlebotomy or bloodletting, used for phlebotomy, also called as bloodletting. Phlebotomy or bloodletting is surgical removal of fluids, removal of clotted blood, etc. Its coelom, something special about its coelom, it does have a true coelom just like the other annelids, but its coelom is very reduced and restricted to only excretory and reproductive systems. In the rest of the places, the coelom is replaced by another tissue which is called as botryoidal tissue, which will comprise of small sinuses, coelomic sinuses sort of, which will be filled with blood, which will be more functionally efficient for the leech because it needs a lot of blood, no? To be able to live in polluted water bodies, to enhance oxygen uptake, etc. So part of the coelom is replaced by this particular type of tissue which is called as botryoidal tissue. Botryoid means grapes. If you look at this tissue under the microscope, it will have a grape-like appearance. That's why it is named so. Coelom highly reduced, restricted to which systems? Excretory and reproductive systems. Other places, coelom is replaced by what? Botryoidal tissue, wherein botryoid means grapes and this tissue is basically blood-filled sinuses, appearance like grapes. This term is important, botryoidal tissue. So that was it from leech, and with that we have completed with phylum Annelida. In the name of Lord Mahadev, please subscribe.